Good morning, dear students, and welcome to the second part of our discussion on the life of Rizal. And for today, we are going to start our discussion with talking about the martyrdom of Gomburza. The martyrdom of Gomburza was considered to be the important event of Philippine history because this event paved the way to the Philippine Revolution. On January 20, 1872, about 200 Filipino soldiers and workmen of the Cavite Arsenal under the leadership of Damadri. He was a Filipino but rose in mutiny because of the abolition of their usual privileges. The three priests, Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, Jacinto Zamora, were executed at sunrise of February 17, 1872 by the order of the Governor General Izquierdo. The martyrdom of the Gambusa in 1872 truly Rizal wanted to fight for because also of the evils of Spanish tyranny and redeem his oppressed people. That is why Rizal dedicated his second novel, El Filibusterismo, to the Gombursa or to the martyrs. And then also there was injustice to Rizal's mother, Doña Teodora. She was arrested on a malicious charge that she and her brother Jose Alberto tried to poison the latter's perfidious wife. Antonio Vicencio or Vicencio del Rosario o Calambas Governor Silio who helped to arrest Doña Teodora. After arresting Doña Teodora, the sadistic Spanish lieutenant forced her to walk from Calamba to Santa Cruz, Laguna, for about 50 kilometers. Doña Teodora was incarcerated at the provincial prison where she languished for 2 years. Francisco de Mercaida and Manuel Marzan, the most famous lawyers of Manila, defended Doña Teodora. Rizal's scholastic triumph at Ateneo de Manila, Ateneo Municipal, a college under the supervision of the Spanish Jesuits, Escuela Pia Charity School, formerly named of Ateneo. Before it was named Ateneo, it was Escuela Pia, a school for poor boys in Manila, which was established by the city government in 1870. June 10, 1872, Rizal was accompanied by Pasiano to Manila. Father Ferrano was the college registrar who refused to admit Rizal in Ateneo for two reasons. He was late or late in registration. He was sickly and undersized for his age. Maybe they'll look at Rizal very short, and then he didn't want he didn't want to admit Rizal for this reason. But Manuel Ceres Burgos, because of his intercession, he was the father. He was the nephew of Father Burgos. Rizal was reluctantly admitted in Ateneo, but Father Manuel Burgos helped Rizal. He registered Rizal as his surname instead of Mercado, since Mercado was suspected by the Spanish authorities. And these are the old pictures of Ateneo. Father Beck, Rizal's first professor in Ateneo, Rizal described him as a tall, thin man with a body slightly bent forward, a hard walk, an ascetic face, severe and inspired, smell deep sunken eyes, a sharp nose that was almost Greek, and thin lips forming an arc as fell toward uh, his chin. And then Rizal's first prize for being the brightest pupil in the whole class in Ateneo was a religious picture. To improve his Spanish, Rizal took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during noon recess. He paid 3 pesos for those extra Spanish lessons. When the summer vacation ended, Rizal returned to Manila for his second year term in Ateneo. This time, he boarded inside Intramuros, number 6 Magallanes Street. His landlady was an old widow named Doña Pepay. Rizal's studies continued to fare well. Uh, As a matter of fact, he excelled in all subjects, the most brilliant Atenean of his time, and he was truly the pride of the Jesuits. In 1877, the graduation day, Rizal, who was uh, 15 years old, received his alma mater the degree of Bachelor of Arts with highest honor. And a religious society where in Rizal was an active member and later became the secretary was called Marian Congregation. The last year of Rizal in Ateneo, by that time, Rizal cultivated his literary talent under the guidance of Father Sanchez. Rizal studies painting also, developed, and then in sculpture as well, and also under Amualdo de Jesus, a noted Filipino sculptor. Rizal carved an image of the Virgin Mary on a piece of batikuling with his pocket knife. Father Leonard, impressed by Rizal's sculptural talent, requested him to carve for him an image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. But it was Doña Teodora who was first discovered the poetic genius of her son, and it also she who first encouraged him to write poems. However, it was Father Sanchez who inspired Rizal to take full of his God-given gift in poetry. These are the works of Rizal during his last year in Ateneo. Uh, my first inspiration, Rizal probably wrote this during his days in Ateneo, which was dedicated to his mother on her birthday. Rizal wrote this when he was 14 years old. And also in 1875, he, were, he wrote the following um, literary works. These are other literary works made by Rizal during his last year or during his stay in Ateneo. And then, after Ateneo, he went in the University of Santo Tomas. And after finishing the first year of a course in philosophy and letters, he transferred to the medical course. In 1877, he enrolled in UST, taking philosophy and letters, because his father liked it and he was still uncertain as to what career to pursue. Father Roman, a rector of Ateneo, who had been good to him, he wanted to ask advice on the choice of a career, but unfortunately he was in Mindanao. During Rizal's first school term in UST, Rizal also studied in Ateneo at the same time. He took the vocational course leading to the title of Pareto Agreements or Expect Surveyor. While in UST, or while at UST, he fell in love with three women, namely Miss L, a woman with a fair, seductive, and attractive eyes, but the romance died a natural death because of two reasons. The sweet memory of Sigunda Katikpak was still fresh in his memory because before Miss L, she had a relationship with Sigunda Katikpak, and Rizal's father did not like the family of Miss L. Also, during his sophomore, he courted Leonor Valenzuela, a tall girl with a real bear. Rizal sent her love notes in invisible ink. But just like Segunda, he also stopped visiting her. And during his junior year, Rizal had a romance with Dena Rivera of Camilin Tarlac. Lenore was a pretty girl and a student of La Concordia College. Both Rizal and Lenore were engaged. He used the sign name Tainis to cover the relationship from their parents. We will discuss more these women of Rizal uh, in the next topic. And then Rizal studied in UST around 1878 to 1882. His grade in medicine consists of two excellent, three very good, eight good, and two fair. Basically, his grades in UST College of Medicine were not as impressive as what he got at Ateneo Philosophy and Letters due to the hostility of the duplicate professors. And because one example, laboratory equipments are just for display, and there was a racial discrimination against Filipino students. And Rizal did not like it, and he really adjusted and suffered during his stay in UST. Then at 18, he submitted this poem. It is an inspiring poem of flawless form. This poem won as a classic Filipino literature for two reasons. And the title of the poem, To the Filipino Youth. And then the reasons for winning the poem. It was a great poem in Spanish written by a Filipino, and then whose merit was recognized by Spanish literary authorities. And second, expressed for the first time the nationalistic concept that the Filipino and not the foreigners were the fair hope of the fatherland. The board of judges, composed of Spaniards, were impressed, and Rizal won the first prize of a silver pen, feather shaped and decorated with a gold ribbon. And then Filipinas, a sonnet written by Rizal for the album of the Society of Sculptors. In this sonnet, he urged Filipino artists to glorify the Philippines. And as I said, because of the hostility of the Dominican friars, the days of Rizal in UST was considered unhappy days. And then Rizal found the atmosphere at the UST suffocating, hostile, and to his sensitive spirit, he was unhappy at this Dominican institution of higher learning because, number one, the Dominican professors were hostile to him. The Filipino students were racially discriminated by the Spaniards. The method of instruction was obsolete and repressive. So, in Rizal novel El Filibusterismo, he described how Filipino students were humiliated, insulted by their Dominican professors, and how backward the method of instruction was, especially in the teaching of the natural sciences. He described this in chapter 13 of the book El Filibusterismo, the class in physics. We will stop here the coverage of our prelim, and then we highlighted the life of Rizal during his childhood, family tree or family members, the siblings and his parents, and the highlights also of his academic journey in Ateneo and University of Santo Tomas. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening.